Today's story comes from Ben Sakuma in Brighton, United Kingdom. When he was just 10 years old, he had a near-death experience that helped him turn his life as an outsider around and gave him the confidence to live life without fear. Here is his story. As a child, I always felt I was different. I was born into parents of immigrants to the United Kingdom. My mother from Egypt and my father was Japanese. I looked different. My parents didn't quite fit the mold, and my parents tried their hardest to retain their cultural values while adapting to a whole new world. I was 8 years old when I started to exhibit signs of trouble. I would get in trouble at school and hit other kids, lying to the teachers and cheating off the children who sat next to me. One day, I was feeling particularly anxious. I didn't know why. I remember it had been a cloudy day, and I disregarded my mother's warning to take my rain jacket to school with me. I watched as the clouds got thicker from the classroom window, and the rain started pouring down the pavement on the side of the school. And what got my attention was a tiny kitten just sitting there. I decided I was going to help the kitty, and asked my teacher if I could go use the loo. She let me go, and I raced out and found my way outside using an exit by the dining hall. I looked back, and no one was following. I ran towards the kitty, but I had to cross the parking lot in order to get there. Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was in the middle of a bright space. I could see my body, and it was far away. I saw my body in the lot next to the school. I had gotten hit by a car, but the car had not noticed, and my little body was clipped by the car's back tire. I felt like I was dreaming, but I could see the car was driving away, and I was there, looking like a wet pile of clothes in the middle of the street. The kitty was there with me. I didn't feel anything, not an ounce of pain as I looked on, although I could see I was clearly not moving. I looked at myself, but I didn't remember if that was actually me, or if I had been dreaming this whole time. Then I started to feel a pull that became stronger, and I was being led away from my body. I didn't hesitate to turn towards the pull, and I felt like I was getting sucked through a vacuum and seeing a beautiful assortment of colors and lights. It was almost thrilling, and I felt like I knew where I was going. The atoms in my body felt like they knew what was happening, and I wasn't scared. The pull started to slow down, and I saw the place I was in go into focus. I saw a vastness of land with rivers and hills, fields with animals in them, and a beautiful city as well with buildings that looked like they were built of gold and marble. I looked around me, and I felt a profound sense of knowing that felt strange, because I never felt like I quite belonged anywhere before. Even the familiar felt unfamiliar to me in the city I grew up in, and here I felt like I was home. Then a group of beings approached me. They were tall and looked of mixed races like me. They came towards me and gave me a warm welcome. They said, "Hello, Ben." Then, among these strangers to me, although they didn't feel like strangers, was one woman who looked like one of the Egyptian goddesses my mother spoke about. At first, I thought she was my mother, and she had unmatched energy to those around her. She had been the one to tell me that I had died, and that I was hit by the car. It did not seem real. She then showed me around the land more, and took me to where the animals were because I told her I loved animals. She said she knew I had a cat at home, and that she saw how I was always kind to her. She also said she knew about the kitty I saw at school. She then told me that all animals had feelings and memories. They know our intentions, and because of that, the kitty that I tried to save had saved my life by perching on top of my body until someone noticed me. She then showed me, and I saw as the kitty meowed as loud as she could until someone heard her as the rain started to stop. I saw someone run towards my body. Then I was back in the land with the beautiful beings. We stopped at a herd of cows in a meadow. They were the happiest cows I had ever seen. They seemed to be dancing and playing with each other. She said that the cows near our home didn't dance because they were not as happy as these cows. I said, "Poor cows." She laughed and told me, "Just like you, cows and animals will come here when they are old and they will be happy again." I started to feel like I was getting pulled back, and she told me very assertively, "I will be with you." Then I remember opening my eyes, and I was in a hospital bed. I could not move very much, but I didn't feel any pain. I saw my mother and father. They were looking at me, but didn't say anything. And then I saw my mother crying. I looked at my father and said, "Hi, Dad." And my mother started crying even more when I spoke. The nurse then came in the room and said, "Oh, sweet boy, you're up." She checked the monitor and told my mom it was okay. "See, I told you, you have a strong boy." They called for the doctor to come in, and she came and told me I had been in a bad accident and that I had to be put to sleep so that they could perform surgery on my leg, as well as told me I had a collapsed lung. She told me that I was so strong the whole time. She left me to be with my parents, and then my father cried, which I had never seen him do before. I told them I died, and I told them I saw what happens when we die. And I told them I wanted to get cows so I could teach them how to dance. I am now 18 years old, and I still tell the story as much as I can because I don't want to forget it. As I've gotten older, it feels like something I made up as a child, although when I experienced it, it felt very real, and the doctors did confirm with me that I had been without a heartbeat for several minutes and was in fact considered medically dead. I now have a younger sister who is 6 years old, and she makes me tell her the story before bed because she says it helps her sleep and wants to dream about the animals I saw dancing and the beautiful people that look just like us. I don't want her to feel different like I did when I was her age. I am now going to school to be a veterinarian, and I am the first in my family to go to college. I had started volunteering at a shelter after school when I was 15 years old, and then, when it came time to decide what I wanted to do, there was no question in my mind, or my parents' mind. They had always wanted me to be a doctor, of course. And this was the only kind of doctor I had any interest in being. What I would like to say to anyone watching is that this is not the end. We are much more powerful than we think. There is so much in life that brings meaning, and if you feel like an outsider, remember that most people do, and we are all the same in the end. Practice kindness to each other and to the animals around you. I am living proof that they can save your life one day. Thank you for watching. If you're intrigued by the mysteries of the mind, subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you.